Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Pacific Pokemon Podcast, where we talk about Pokemon with a focus on VGC. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming out and actually listening to us while it's DLC time. Yeah,
That's what we were doing right before this.
literally, we paused DLC. We were trading to complete Pokedexes and everything. Yeah, DLC is on everybody's minds for sure. Good reason, I feel like, right?
Yep, I am now starting my quest to get that zero speed, zero attack Ursulina.
Well, that's gonna be a rough one. The zero speed and zero attack Blood Moon?
Yep.
Oof. Oof, that's gonna be a long journey. Good luck.
Well, this is coming from somebody who has a perfect shiny land of eye. That's legit. So
True, fair.
that one did take me a long time. So I don't anticipate being able to get this one to be perfect necessarily before Sacramento. Which, by the way, I am Sacramento bound. After they had the new signups for that this last week, and I'll now be going officially to Sacramento. Hopefully, going to be able to run the Moon Bear, but we'll see how things go.
I'm so excited for you that you got in.
I still don't think our Wholesome Lad is out of the meta just yet. I think he's still got a chance, and I think his viability, he's the slow one.
True. Yeah, I agree there, definitely. I think he has some level of viability. And physical attackers are still really solid. And, Blood Moon... Well, actually, I was going to say it doesn't really have good spread, but it literally does in every type Hyper Voice. So,
yeah.
The ability to just ignore the ghost typing with buffed Scrappy is kind of busted.
It is pretty good, but you know what? I think Earthquake still does a lot of damage even through grassy terrain.
Oh, yeah. And I think grassy terrain's going to be way down.
I think grassy terrain's going to also be way down. That's because there's a new sheriff in town.
New sheriff, and also we totally skipped over the Pokemon choice of the week. But specifically, we're gonna go right back into that here because instead of the what's your favorite Pokemon of the week, it's what's your favorite Ogerpon of the week.
And my favorite Ogerpon of the week, because I learned the hard way in the Nino tournament yesterday, because we're recording on Saturday, so the Friday night one that Nino just randomly did out of the blue. I had only 6 hours to build this team, and I was like, well, I still can. I guess I could just update my ice team and see how that goes. Sorry, no. Fire Ogerpon is the new sheriff in town. It has been called the new Zacian.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's nuts. Fire Ogerpon is busted good. The fact that this thing gets Mold Breaker and single target stab, 100% accurate fire type move with a high critical hit chance too.
Yep.
Plus, when you tear it, you get +1 attack, which is very similar to Zacian in that concept. So this, Fire Ogerpon is insane.
When they swap out, does it work like a booster energy boost? Like they lose their boost, or when a Terra Ogerpon leaves, do they come back in and get the boost still for the mask?
Don't know. I haven't done hardly any battling yet. I've been just trying to focus on getting all of my Pokemon and kind of preparing and building my team.
I haven't tried preserving my Ogerpon once yet. I've always just if they're going to go down, I've just been like, you know what, follow me time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, follow me, especially on Water Ogerpon, which is my Ogerpon choice of the week, by the way. It's so good. That thing is really good at being a defensive.
It is. That's what I ended up using in the tournament was the Water Ogerpon.
Love Water Ogre.
Every single team I've built so far has had the Water Ogerpon on it, but you know what? The sad thing is a Water Ogerpon loses to Fire Ogerpon every time.
Every single time. Because it's a special defense boost instead of a defense boost.
Yep. But oh my gosh, the things that it does defense boost into and certain meta choices and combos.
Although, I haven't run any calcs for this whatsoever, but I am curious if Fire Ogre Terras into pure Fire type, can Water Ogre then KO the pure Fire type Ogre? So maybe Jolly Water Ogre might be able to outspeed and KO Fire Terastallized Adamant Fire Ogre. Maybe.
I haven't been able to do it once.
That's unfortunate. I don't know the spreads that people are running on Ogerpon yet either. So that Pokemon has so much going
the
for
only
it.
times I've ever run max speed on my water Ogerpon so far, because I'm pretty sure I just might have gotten really unlucky in my fire Ogerpon matches. But man, oh man, fire Ogerpon, it does not exist in low ladder right now, but it exists everywhere in tournament, and it's going to be everywhere now. It's already proven itself.
Absolutely. I think every version of Ogerpon is honestly going phenomenal. Even just pure grass ogre. Like, so I saw this obnoxious.
That one's going to be interesting, but I don't think it's got what it takes.
I think it's great in ladder. I think it'll be amazing on ladder. I don't think it's going to be great everywhere else, though. You know?
No, it'll be good until you see my ladder team, which will be Dusclops and Zoroark.
Yikes. No.
And Annihilate and Clefairy.
Oh my goodness. Now, what I was thinking, though, is Pokesports did a video on Grass Ogre with weakness policy and a fast U-turner.
Yeah.
So you U-turn into your own weakness policy and then Terra for a +1 speed as well. So you get +1 speed and +2 to both attacks.
Yep.
And you can also use Rillaboom in that combination as well. To give you the grassy terrain boost to just, 2.3x damage boost. Actually, 2.5 because of the mask being 1.2 boost as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which, for all of you guys, if you weren't aware yet, Ogerpon, whenever it is holding a mask, any kind of mask, gets a 20% boost to all of its attacks. Bye-bye, Rillaboom. I want to say bye-bye Amoonguss, even, but Amoonguss is Amoonguss, and I don't think that's actually going to happen.
No, it's gone. You know why?
I mean, Fire Ogre can one-shot it.
Even Fire Ogre can redirect its Spore.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, with Follow Me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, Amoonguss is... I don't think it's gone. Maybe. I think it's way lower, though. I don't think it's in top 12 remotely. I don't think it's even in top 20.
If you're running Amoonguss right now, let us know how it's going, because it must feel bad, because every Amoonguss I've seen, I've followed me the Spore turn every time.
Of course. I mean, I think... So, right now, I feel like Amoonguss is absolutely screwed, because not enough players know what Ogerpon does yet. But I think Amoonguss will find its way back into the meta as that sus mushroom always does.
Yep.
People are going to figure out what build makes it survive Fire Ogre, and they're going to build that. And then they're going to throw it in, and they're going to force the Fire Ogre to Terra, or something like that, and they're going to be able to play around it better that way, or something along that line. Amoonguss is just good at forcing obnoxiousness. Plus, if Fire Ogre's the only thing on a team that counters it, you KO the Ogre, and you're good.
The one downside, though, I feel like I'm going to be running Tornadus.
Yeah?
And I feel like that's cheating on Murkrow.
Oh my goodness.
I
mean, I get that for sure, but yeah.
But I feel like I'm going back to that old strategy of that hyper offense, probably for Sacramento.
Fair.
This time with Fire Mask instead of Chiyu, missing all the time.
Honestly, that's so huge, though. Like
Yeah.
I was looking forward to using Chiyu and Diplin. Out the window. Ogerpon,
Nope.
100%.
Yeah.
Ogerpon overall. It's where we
Yeah.
are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I
design a
already got
team
it. I already
for
got to start grinding to change my Ogerpon spread for some stuff coming up soon.
right though.
Unless I can find somebody who has the DLC who's willing to part ways with one before a reset or something like right in those circumstances. But
Very uncommon, but it does happen. If you're
it
looking
does
to reset
happen.
stats, I would highly recommend doing the mochis or the ogre ousting minigame
Yeah, I
and
got.
getting
Well,
the
and you get
mochis.
3 for free.
Yeah, but you can also get the reset mochi out of that to reset stats.
Yep.
So
Instead of
that's
just berries.
yeah, that's a little bit more handy if you're trying to reset all of them. If you're trying to just make small changes, the berries can be a little bit more useful. But yeah, the mochis are gonna help a
I got
lot.
so many berries though. I bought so many in the auction house on bulk for super cheap for fun.
Nice, nice,
Because that was the
nice.
only way before this thing, so I just
Mm-hmm.
figured that would be
Well,
using the same Pokemon over and over again so much and
yeah, it wasn't the only
adjusting.
way, but it was the easiest way, definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, stat berries and stat items, mochi. Mochi is here to shove all of those to the side.
Yep.
It's almost like the Gen 6 super training. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember that with the like touchpad,
I do with
the
the
bags and the reset
yes.
bag and everything.
I remember.
Super training was so nice. I loved being able to take a whole Pokemon from
Every
start to finish in
generation
an
we've
hour.
been we it feels like we've gotten closer to getting an item that reduces an IV,
We
but
are,
it never happens.
but we have it now. Mochi,
No, it
technically.
doesn't reset IVs. It resets EVs.
Oh, Ivies. Sorry. Gotcha. Gotcha.
We've had EV resetting
Yeah, yeah,
items
yeah.
before, but we haven't had. It feels like we're gonna get one, but nope.
You know, I feel like that's
They'll
their
have to stop
solution
reset.
to the problem that they have with Jenning. Ironically,
It
I
would
really feel
it
like
would ironically solve the entire Jenning problem
it
just
does.
about.
You make it an item, then the person can go catch any random Pokemon they want
Yeah,
and just adjust everything to exactly how they want it and run it. Give them the
yeah.
items and give them 20 minutes of time. Done. You
Done.
know?
Yeah.
And I mean,
Doesn't seem like
obviously,
too bad
people are.
than that
There's
of a
still
plan.
obviously going to be some people doing it because they want shiny with a certain mark in a certain specific ball that you only get one of, plus all of that zero speed, zero attack, whatever.
Oh,
I guarantee you're
you
going to
already know I put
find
my
that
walking
person.
wake in a Master Ball.
Nice. I think I put mine in a luxury ball. But yeah, luxury ball. Best design. The new metallic texturing is gorgeous. Also,
Mhm.
if you have you caught a Como-O or a Jangmo-O or any of that evolutionary line and like actually
Oh yeah,
looked at
I
them?
transferred them. They look really good.
Those metallic scales are gorgeous.
They're very good.
Oh, I'm so pleased with that. I don't know why that's such a big deal to me, but the metallic texturing in this generation is just making every sprite feel so much crisper.
It's true. It's gotten really good. Um, I'm just really excited for when I be able to use Rayquaza competitively because you can see its scales.
Yo, really?
Yeah.
Put so much detail into the sprites. That's why this game is buggy and laggy. They over detailed all the sprites and tried to compress them.
That's why it
That's just
takes
a
forever
guess,
to
but
load.
yeah,
It's on the grass.
right? Yeah. All of the sprites are way too high resolution in comparison to everything else, and so it's just powering everything into loading one sprite at a time. I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes sense though. Pokemon are
It won't
gorgeous.
be like this in the future.
No. Also, shiny Diplin. While we're on the subject of metallic,
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
it's like gold. Oh, I thought it was not. I thought it was gonna be green, like the shiny Appleton and Flapple and Applin. You know, I thought it was gonna go on that whole green
No,
theme.
we got a butterscotch boy.
We did, and it's gorgeous. Oh man, this DLC is phenomenal. That's my review. 3 thumbs up.
I think that this DLC could have done more with the Pokemon they brought back.
I agree. Definitely. It never feels like they give us fully everything that they could. I think that's something that Pokemon tries to do intentionally. Like they're intentionally holding on to ideas to save for later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does.
um, but in terms of meta changes coming out with Regulation E, holy cow, there is going to be so much.
Yeah, knockoff is going to be big.
And Grassy Glide got nerfed. 55 base
Mm-hmm.
power now. It can't even KO an Urshifu Rapid Strike at 0 HP, 0 defense.
Nope.
Unless it's Choice Band or Life Orb. Like, Rillaboom has to run a Miracle Seed, a Choice Band, or a Life Orb. Something that increases its damage to have a chance to nail that one-hit KO. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed that 15 base power makes such a big difference. They thought that one through, clearly, in bringing it back.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's a welcome change, in my opinion. I am tired of these bulky monkeys out there, and I am glad to see it have to go back to its roots because I knew there was a good reason why mine had max speed, 252 attack, and Sword and Shield, and nothing else. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, you outspeed as
and
much as you can, and you just smack them.
exactly. You try to get that G max drum beating going.
Goodness, that move was so good.
Hmm. So I'm glad to see it's going to be going for those wood hammers specifically too.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be really big to run Miracle Seed specifically.
Probably, honestly. Like, I think that's the safest choice overall. You get the 1.2.
But if you got a way of, like, let's say you got U-turn on it still too,
Mm-hmm.
I think you could get a lot of use out of a life orb, because then you
True.
can make sure you get your terrain up back and forth when you need to,
Yeah.
and it can deal with that chip.
So here's the kind of unique thought that I like for Rillaboom, but I don't think is going to do enough. And predominantly, I don't think it's going to be used because Roaring Moon is getting buffed with knockoff, and Fire Ogerpon exists.
Yeah.
Like, and specifically why Roaring Moon I think is actually going to become big. Before I go into the other detail, is because Roaring Moon resists both of all of Ogerpon's types except for the rock until you terrestrialize. So until you decide to say, oh hey, guess what, Ogerpon, I'm gonna smack you dead, you don't take much from it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a big part of
Dragon
it.
type. I think one of the things that's going to be really overlooked here is just what happens every single time in the meta. Fairy Dragon Steel overlooked again.
Yep. For Fire, Water, Grass.
And you know the really crummy part about it is we didn't really get any new tools as far as steel types go, fairy types, or dragon types.
We did get a new Fairy and Pheasantipity, but I mean, yeah.
We didn't even get returning ones. We got
We got a Alolan
Kaolo for
Ninetales.
dragon. We got Alolan Ninetales for fairy types.
Yeah. I feel like Fairy's the most.
Clefairy. We got Clefairy for flying types.
Got Gliscor, but that's remotely related to any of these. I don't know why I said that one.
No, I don't think we got any new steel types, did we?
We got Probopass.
Probopass?
I think that might be about it though for new steel types. There was not much of steel in the DLC.
So we're running with the same problem with steel, and that's Golden Go's the only one we're gonna see.
Goldengo and Heatran, yeah, I think are the
Yeah,
best for steel typing.
I think Heatran's days are numbered too because of it's not a steel type that can really hold up to Terrafire, uh, Fire Mask.
Yeah, well, I mean, it can hold up better than Goldengo can.
That's true.
It at least has the fire type inherently to resist it, but the fact that Flash Fire gets destroyed by Mold Breaker definitely makes Heatran a much easier target.
All I can really say about Regulation E is that it's really going to come down to the fact that we don't have tools that are relevant enough to the power creep right now.
Yeah, Power Creep came in fast and hard. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like even the good Pokemon that returned, like Alolan Ninetales, Galarian Weezing, um, a lot of these Pokemon that were good in previous formats aren't even going to be good here because the power creep came in so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're in the meta now of 500 base stat plus minimum kind of thing.
Yes.
Like, you have to be up there. Oh, I finally got back what I was thinking. For new steel types, we did get Empoleon, who now got competitive. I feel like
Yeah.
it's better that way.
Yeah, but the thing is Mold Breaker doesn't drop stats.
I know. Yeah, but I mean, with that competitive,
So there is a bit of an issue with competitive is that in the matchups that those Empoleon needs it doesn't really get it.
well, Empoleon, I mean, where Empoleon is going to shine, I think, is basically trying to counter Landorus. You know,
Yeah.
that's where its best niche is, obviously, to being a
Mm-hmm.
great Landorus counter, because it gets access to both Ice Beam and Hydro Pump, and unfortunately not Scald.
Yeah.
Even though it's a TM, there are two, well, I guess three technically, but effectively two
And if you
Pokemon that can
really
learn it.
have an issue with Landorus, you can go double competitive on your team and run Galarian Articuno.
True. True. Galarian Articuno would be able to pull that off. And honestly, Wigglytuff is a competitive user that people forget about a lot too.
No, we don't want. Why would you? That sounds
It's not
terrible.
good, but you know, it does get competitive.
Okay, as long as you say it's terrible, that's fine.
No, but on the subject of other returning Pokemon with competitive though, doesn't Milotic get competitive as one of its
Milotic
abilities?
gets it, yeah.
Yeah. So Milotic actually is probably the better version instead of Empoleon.
Yep,
Um,
it is.
realistically.
Always been.
Yeah. I mean, Empoleon, even with the buff of competitive, still is gonna get
And it
overshadowed.
has a. But even then,
Yeah.
Milotic and ladder will make your opponents guess whether or not you can go. It's going to be bulky or offensive.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the question of, are you competitive or are you Marvel scale? Both abilities are
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal.
Yep, Marvel scale is amazing.
Oh. Milotic is back, and it's the only Pokemon that can learn Scald, other than the Poltergeist and Sinistcha line.
Yep.
That's it. They brought Scald back as a TM with two Pokemon able to learn it. Why bring it back as a TM?
I don't know.
Unless they're
I just don't know.
intending to allow other Pokemon that come back in the next DLC to learn it. So
I think that's probably what it'll be.
that's probably what it is, but like, what else is there? Politoed doesn't get Scald. Politoed was a huge #1 user of Scald.
Mhm.
Same with Gastrodon. But like the two of them not getting access, like who else do you give it to? Kyogre?
Kingdra.
Oh, Kingdra. That's fair. Kingdra was a good Scald user. And as a dragon, too, that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of just wish they had brought it back and changed it to not be to not be able to burn or something.
Yeah.
You know, like we had discussed originally. I wish that they had done something like that. But, oh well. No spoilers on story. So let's move into Pittsburgh maybe?
Yeah.
Talk about that tournament. Oh, but man, what a tournament that was. Holy cow.
There's a lot of ups and downs throughout that stream.
There really were.
It was, you know, it was really just a big Urshifu Iron Hand slog at the end of the day, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't really deny that.
It was a big fist fight between the best fighting types of the generations, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean this generation's fighting types definitely there's quite a few good fighting types in the gen. And they just added
But Iron
2
Hands
more.
is the best.
Iron Hands is hands and feet above the rest. Haha.
It's the things that aren't connected to his body.
I know, right?
Um,
Yeah. Iron Hands, Urshifu, obviously best there, but like, and Keldor is back.
does it get Mach Punch still?
It does, yeah. So I mean,
So there's
Keldor's
some
got
viability there.
something, because it's also a Guts Flame Orb user too.
And it's also got
great in
Conkle
Trigger.
Donk at #1 again.
Uncle Donk. But no, and then what's the other? Oh, Okidogi. You think Okidogi's gonna be able to outdo Iron Hands at all?
Honestly, I think the fact that it has a 4 times weakness to Psychic makes it really want to just go Terra Dark. And I think one of the best parts about Iron Hands is its flexibility with its Terra type defensively versus Okidogi really wants one thing or the other as far as a matchup. So it's kind of like one-dimensional into the 1 or 2-dimensional rather than being like 3 or 4-dimensional like Iron Hands can be.
Fair, yeah, I definitely get that. Yeah. I don't know. All of the loyal 3 are kinda iffy to me.
I think there are a lot of partners and strategies to be explored with them. I think that Hex Fluttermane automatically has stocks again because of Toxic Chain, and how Monkey Dory goes pretty good as a partner with Fluttermane.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, I mean, you could have 30% big ghost move.
Yeah. Yeah, Monkey Door is actually probably the best. Fake Out is really nice on a high damage special attacker. It's not very common. So
No.
Yeah. Serendipity, I feel like, is the best if you want to actually activate Toxic Chain.
Because
it's the only one that gets any spread moves. I don't think even Okidogi gets any spread moves, right?
I don't think so.
I think it even gets like Earthquake or...
I think Serendipity is the only one that really gets any decent spread.
Dazzling Gleam. I think it gets even Heat Wave.
It gets Icy Wind.
It does get Icy Wind. I know that for sure.
That's
Maybe
the
it
best
doesn't
one.
get Heat Wave. Maybe I'm thinking of Galarian Wheezing. I know that gets Heat Wave.
Icy Wind that can poison. That's a pretty cool niche.
It is, though.
Especially Technician boosted.
Yeah, that's true. It does get Well, but if you get Technician, you don't have Toxic Chain.
That's fine.
So you can't poison with the Technician. But Technician Icy Wind is... That's a Technician spread move, so I mean, that's pretty decent.
They seem too specific to what they're trying to fit into,
I
and
agree.
nobody was looking for those slots to be filled.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it was a great idea to bring in some poison types to try to, like, dethrone Fluttermane.
Yep.
From its absurd throne. But I don't think they really succeeded. Right?
No.
I think they brought in good poison types that can't do anything to Fluttermanes.
Nope.
And so by default, not being able to do anything to Fluttermane means you're not full in this meta outside of building a team around whatever your niche is. Loyal 3. Yeah. Excited to see where the meta goes, though, for Sacramento.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing some Booster Energy Fluttermane, speed controlling for some fat Ivy Fire Cudgels.
Nice. I have a similar Fluttermane to go with my water pun for now.
That's what I'm going to do as soon as I'm done with this podcast.
I'm
is go build that Sun team.
I'm working on a lot of the same right now. I'm going a lot more balance overall.
Yeah, I gotta get used to finding balance and see where balance shakes down to.
Yeah, right now the team that I'm looking at is like a Water Ogre, Sinistra, Fluttermane, Heatran, Iron Hands, and I forget.
I can't get myself to run Iron Hands anymore. I've seen Iron Hands get one shot by Ivy Cudgel so many times. I can't even think about running Iron Hands anymore. It does nothing.
I get that, definitely. But it does still have Fake Out. And it is still a great heavy slam user into Fluttermane. But yeah. Iron Hands is gonna get deleted by most. Honestly, it's weird, but I think Iron Hands might start going Terra Dragon. Legit. To beat Ogerpon, I think Iron Hands might start going defensive Terra Dragon. To be able to beat all of them.
I don't think it works.
I mean,
I just don't think it works.
Right. It's not great to stay weak to Fairy.
You know what? We're bringing back the calc bit for this. Not tonight. We're not doing it for this episode.
Because we didn't prepare. No. But I got a lot of calcs to run this week.
We're running calcs next week. You know what? I'm saying it now. We're doing it.
Should we just run the entire? Should we just make all of next week an entire calcs episode? Like just full on hardcore regulation E calcs and stat comparisons and just like go through the entire meta up to this point of regulation E. Is that what we're gonna do next week?
We could try.
I like this idea.
We're not gonna have a ladder to work with.
That's okay. We don't need a ladder to work with. We know what Pokemon are gonna show up. That much is obvious. Right. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Let's do
calcs. We're doing math. We're doing the math for you guys.
We're gonna do a math episode next week, apparently. Now, guys, let's do it.
All right.
So look forward to that math episode next week, covering all of the calculations and all of the things for your Ogerpons and your Diplins and your returning Mons, Sinischas, whatever else. We'll throw it all in there. But yeah, let's swing back to Pittsburgh because we definitely jumped that train away from that tournament.
I think I said all that needed to be said about it. I'm going to be honest, it was pretty boring.
I mean, low-key, a lot of the tournament wasn't super active. It feels like Regulation D really stagnated itself into like a core of 10 Pokemon.
Yep. And that's exactly what we said would happen in our first episode of Regulation D.
You know, that's kind of true. I think it is, yeah. We said, okay, with all of these Pokemon coming back, we're going to see such a big influx of base stat total and everything that it's just going to limit the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thankfully, they did acknowledge that a good bit for Regulation E, I think. Bringing in some new toys that at least offer some legitimately good shakeup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ogerpon is a great counter to everything new. Or everything that was good. It counters Rillaboom, it counters Fluttermane, it counters Urshifu, it counters Iron Hands, it counters Amoonguss. Like, it can counter Landorus pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is gonna just start walking in and taking a dump on the entire meta.
Yep.
So,
Pokemon
welcome to
Scarlet and Violet.
Regulation E.
You have been power crept.
Oh, so hard. I can only imagine what Terrapagos is gonna be. Like, is it gonna get a full
It's gonna have
+1
that
to
broken
everything?
Terra type. It's gonna have that broken Terra type
True.
and do something with that.
So, like, can we speculate on Terrapagos for a sec? Because if you think about the tiny little turtle that its basic form is versus the massive terrastalized version, I feel like it's going to get a +1 to every single stat when it terrastalizes. I think it's going to be kind of meh without it, though. I think it's going to be like maybe...
Geomancy.
Right? But if it's like an 80 base stat across the board, like pseudo-mythical, kind of like Fion or whatever, and then gets +1 to everything when you terrastalize it into its unique Terra type, I feel like that would still make it, what, like a 110 base in every stat, effectively?
I don't know.
Which would be wild. 110 to 120, so it would almost be as strong as Arceus. Just by doing that gimmick. God.
Let's think about that problem for another day and just enjoy the fact that we're all running around going, do 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 do. We have a new mask.
Kokiri little... Oh my god, you're so right, though. Ogerpon is basically a little Kokiri following you around.
Yeah.
Hiding behind its mask. That's adorable. Yeah. I love Ogerpon. They clearly know their fan base.
It's almost like they knew that we all also played the Zelda games.
Right. I mean, surprise, surprise. We're from the same generation. It just makes sense, you know? We've all played at least a little bit of Zelda and a little bit of Mario.
It's like Pokemon finally gave that nod back to the Pikachu mask and
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had a couple of masks in Arceus as well.
So
I'm really glad that they actually brought that in more in depth in this gen.
Yep.
Even more so that they put it onto a Pokemon and made it OP.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that we didn't have to use a little flute to find Ogerpon.
Fair. Some kind of a rare item or whatever, or do you mean like like the Arceus flute?
Well, like even then, like an Arceus flute or a Snorlax flute or something like that, like to kind of get it to come to I didn't think that it would just be like, oh, you're outside my front door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right there. You're right there. Yeah, little Ogerpon.
Look.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's more or less gonna be an episode. It's Ogerpon meta. And Fluttermane might actually not be #1 forever. Finally. Big maybe.
For every Ogerpon, there's an even stronger Fluttermane behind her.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, low key though. And they do synergize so well, so. Yeah, hopefully Ogerpon's able to dethrone Flutterman. That would be really cool. I don't think that's gonna happen, but hey, let's root for it. But that's
I
gonna
definitely
be
say
it,
number two.
right? Yeah, I think it's gonna be a clear number 1 and 2 now for the rest of the meta. Those two. But yeah, it's been a fun DLC. We're gonna get back to playing some DLC, hunting those teams and getting ready for tournament. Catch you
Mhm.
guys next week in that Calx episode. I'm excited to do that now that we decided that. But join in our Discord down below and be ready for our draft league because we've got that coming in next week. Starting, it starts in exactly a week, right? Or the day after a week. Next Saturday, or is it next Sunday?
I can't remember.
It was one of the two, I remember. Something like that. 22nd, I think? 22nd, 23rd?
For Pokemon Regulation E?
No, for the draft league.
Oh, sorry. Oh, said that. Sorry.
For the draft
Um,
league.
the draft. Yeah, the draft is going to be Friday the 22nd at 8 p.m.
Friday.
Pacific Standard Time.
But not next Saturday, it's next Friday, the night before. That makes more sense. Yeah.
And if you got other stuff going on at that time, one of the things you can do is you do not have to be there for the entire time period of it. You can let me know what Pokemon from a certain list and what priority you want them ahead of time. Send them to me, and I will make sure that I follow that list to the best of your ability. Or you can send me live updates and messages in the Discord. We're going to be kind of doing this draft a little bit freeform because I don't know if everybody's going to be able to have necessarily a microphone for it even. Which
Understandable.
we got quite a few people coming into this, so I'm excited to see where it goes.
Me too. I'm really looking forward to running this. I think it's going to be a really fun tournament, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good season.
Yeah.
Regulation E has already provided all kinds of cool things for this.
Right?
Random
question, considering Regulation E, is Ogerpon going to be available for all 4 different forms? Are you thinking?
Yeah.
That was kind of what I was thinking too. Nice. I liked it. I love it a lot. So yeah. Draft League is starting up next week. Head on down into our Discord and assign yourself a role to unlock the rest of the Discord. And yeah, head down there. Link is in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Button is over in that corner all the way over there. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming out. We really appreciate it. And it's been a fun time chatting today, talking about the DLC.
Bye.
Have a good one, folks.